drill press update number 2, I believe.
Could be. All right, so the slowest built project ever, but I did finally finish this drawer here. I had to actually, so I pieced together the bottom out of 1/4 inch Baltic birch, because when I called the lumber store to figure out how much a simple 3/4 inch Baltic birch, it was the same cost as 3 sheets that I had gotten prior. It was over $150 for a single 5x5 sheet. So I'm using scraps to make things work. So I have the new, albeit less expensive glides in here, and this is the spacers for the last drawer. But as you can see, woo, look at that, it moves quite nicely, as opposed to the more expensive quote unquote soft close ones, which neither soft close nor Jiminy Christmas. But this is less expensive and ooh, it works very nicely. So yeah, the last piece is to piece together the last drawer with parts that I've got. I've got the false fronts already cut. They need to be routed, similar to these. These are the sides, which I'm also piecing together. And I'm gonna have to use there's like a less than 1/8 of an inch, more than a 1/16 of an inch difference. So I'm gonna use the trim router to trim this to be the same width as this, so that there's not, even a little bit, because it's, OCD kicking in. These are obviously even different. This one right here is finished different than this. Won't make any difference because I'll have a false front on this, which is already cut. And I will be using the technique that after 5 different techniques I've agreed upon that I think for me is the most useful, which is pocket holes in conjunction with a rabbet cut around the whole perimeter for a bottom. Now, ultimately, I would have liked to be using 1/4 inch Baltic birch, but that's way too expensive. So I'm gonna use whatever I've got left in the shop to finish the bottom and finish the longest project ever. So that's it for now.
Drill press project almost completed, almost. Check it out. Oh. So, what's the latest?
All right, so we're inside the 10-yard line. I have to do the top, but as you kind of peek in here, you can see that instead of using one contiguous piece of 1/4 inch, I pieced it together. And you might ask, well, why'd you do that? And because when I asked how much a 1/4 inch piece of Baltic birch cost, it was over 3 times the amount I had paid, several months ago. And so since I just couldn't do that, I said, okay, what else? And so, truly, it doesn't matter. This is like really strong. It's got a rabbet that it's in, and then it's glued as well as brad nailed, and it's not like I'm gonna put an elephant or something in there. And then I'm gonna use foam anyhow to arrange the tools. So it really is kind of it doesn't matter really, because the foam will lie. That if I wasn't using foam, I'd use one of these organizers that I'm using here. Again, you're not going to see it, so it's not really a big deal. So what remains is, so I need to cut the top. It's going to be look double thickness, but again, because of wood, the top will be double, obviously. 1 sheet, and then I will rip that hardwood, use it in trim like this, and then I'll just use some spacers here so that it's, you know, looks double thickness. And then really the last piece is just, you know, bolting this onto this section here. And then the next project will be a, you know, a full-on with a fence and T-tracks and holders and dust collection. So that's in the works as well. So that's where we're at.
Which coat is this?
So this is the 4th coat of Total Boat to protect the top, which I did not do for this workbench here, and I kind of wish I had. So I'm rectifying that with this one here. So probably a total of 5 coats on here for protectant. And then the next piece will be to move this off of there and line up the holes and drill where the lag bolts will attach it. So, I mean, we're close. We're close, but like I said, I need to let this dry, put the last coat on, and move this over here,
And giddy up. What's been the biggest challenge of this project so far?
I think probably changing the design in the middle of it was probably my biggest challenge, because it's much easier to do the drawers from the bottom up, but originally the design that I drew was going to be like one drawer here and then
An open cabinet?
a drawer cabinet, excuse me, and then that cabinet. But when I looked at it, I go, well, gee, that's going to be, even if I provided a pull out like I do with these other ones, it's still like, it just seemed not a good idea. And so I actually uninstalled the top one there and started from the bottom to get where I'm at now. And it's, like I said, it's much easier to do them from the bottom, but I originally was not going to do anything but a single drawer. That was it. So yeah, it's about ready to move over. I got these lag bolts here that I will drill and then mount that. And the next thing will be actually the fence and dust collection that will mount here. And since it's on the wheels, I'll roll it over there to the output of the dust collection, hook it in, and then, because this thing creates just a tremendous amount of sawdust and just dust in general. So that'll help with that. And it'll also make it a lot more useful and accurate. So I've got the T-tracks here that I'll be able to slide in and lock pieces of work down. So, you know, that's the next piece that goes with this. Bueno. So finally done, except for I gotta put the containers in here to arrange stuff, but so I'll put the bits in here, and then I'll be able to hook the dust collection up to my future jig and fence for the
but it certainly beats the tar out of the previous 2x4 plywood on sawhorses that was there for 5 years. So gets the job done for sure. I also like I said, I've tried all kinds of different drawer construction and pieced together the bottom for the last two, which you can see here, pieced together because, well, wood was so expensive. I'd rather piece it together and then put those containers on it, but that's it. Now it rolls around. I will put it in that space over there, which was occupied by the sawhorses, and the 2x4 stand, which I've already taken apart, so I can repurpose some of the 2x4s and stuff like that. So that's it. Next is the